Episode 282, UFO Buster Radio. Your host, Manny Moonraker here. It's been a few days. I didn't have a lot to do over the weekend relating to the podcast itself. Now, as far as UFO Buster Radio, so I've been telling you guys I was going to post something on YouTube, going to get a video together specifically related to the Columbus Day weekend, drive-by, basically, like they do in California, of the SpaceX Boca Chica residential area. As a matter of fact, if you live in Boca Chica, get the fuck out now. I can say one thing. I understand why people are holding out. And it seems like I think there's only like one couple that is being really vocal, going on media and stuff like that to kind of protest, but kind of not. Because at the same time, they have these interviews where they say they wish SpaceX all the luck in the world, but, it's about their home. Understandable. And I did the old man voice, but they're not old, actually. They don't look very old. They must get a lot of sun. But, I can understand that the one thing that everyone notices when you drive down that road, Boca Chica Boulevard, is that it's still I don't know, you can't really say oceanside, but it's a waterside community off of the Gulf of Mexico. But it really is. It's a place you go, and you pretty much go in there to go into green pastures eventually, or get buried in one of the dunes, the sand dunes out there, to never be found again like a pirate's treasure. It is very scenic until you get up to the SpaceX, and then it looks like fucking war broke out, It's shit. It looks disorganized. It looks like the shit's everywhere. But I'm sure there is a method to the madness. No doubt about that. And the stories that we have to cover today have a lot to do with that. That message, the situation, the craziness, which I will aptly call, as of this episode, the Menage a Tois. You guys in France, you have a little different meaning for that. But fuck, it's about the same thing, right? The Menage a Trois between To the Stars Academy, SpaceX, and the U.S. military. That's what we're going to talk about today. But before I get into that, I want you guys to look at the link that's in the description that entails where you can find on YouTube the video that I put together. And by the way, those of you who are enamored by Bugs the UFO Hunter, he's in the video, believe it or not, doing something he shouldn't be on camera. But he doesn't care. Literally, Bugs the UFO Hunter does not give two fucks about you pointing a camera at him and what he does. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm warning you right now. I'm warning you. But I want you to pause the podcast. Pause it right now. I don't care where you are. You could be on the shitter at home. You could be on the shitter at work. You could be at your grandma's house. I'd show her the damn video too. I really don't give two... What? She's in a retirement home. Get all the old people in there, scoot them in, put them on their wheelchairs, get the walkers going, bring them to the room where they all sit around and play fucking canasta, and go ahead and broadcast that shit for them to see it. Because they ignored this. Let's be honest. Your grandparents, their grandparents, they ignored the UFO thing, kind of like most people are doing today. But there is a faction of the government that is publicly not ignoring the UFO situation. And we need to talk about that today. But before you do that, pause right now. Go ahead. Click on the link to the video. And what I want you to do, I want you to like the fucking thing. Just like it. Do me a favor. Hey, you want to do me a favor? Do me a favor, I'll do you a favor. You click the likes, I might put out some more. How about that? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Not physically, because I'm not into that kind of stuff. After you get done with that, don't forget to check out the social medias. Facebook, UFO Buster Radio page. The only place where I actually posted the actual file of video that I put together. The group UBR Truth Seekers. They're the only ones that have the actual file. You want to join that? Go ahead. I'd be much obliged. Got to say in the South. I'd be much obliged if you do. And the Twitters, UFO Buster Radio. And Instagram, at Manny Moonraker. Not too much action there. But I guarantee you, if these videos continue to go the way they're supposed to go, and I continue to go places where no man has gone before, with a dog in tow, there'll be more pictures going up, I'm sure. The plan right now is to, every 2 weeks, to get together a story to post up on YouTube. But in addition to that, this weekend I'm going to experiment with something fascinating. Thanks to the Dave in the Morning Show out of Harvard, Illinois, the Chicago area. This weekend I'm going to try to broadcast my episode live on Facebook as I get down with some UFO news. So hopefully you guys will join me. The link, of course, will always be in the description so you guys can check it out. And those of you that already follow the pages, you'll see that first. Everyone else will show up later. But the YouTube video is important because the more people I get in there, the more reason I have to, break out the equipment and get some videos done. So that's my task. That's my homework for you guys. Can you do that for me? Can you click on that link? I'd appreciate it. I really would. In honor of the fact that All Hallows Eve is around the corner, or Halloween, I've got a bit of a dark song for you. It's called Magic Moon. Then after that, we'll get into the specifics, as they say, of the news report. by the way, let me just cut off that somber music. Dave, that is actually scary Halloween music. Halloween. Whatever the fuck you call it. I don't know what accent you have when you look at words like, oh, Hallows Eve. It is a song dedicated to the, some like to say, holiday of the dead. That's coming up here in the U.S. On the 31st of October. So it's a little gimme, I guess, for those of you who want to dress up and put the makeups on. I'm not talking about going to work either. So welcome, Dave. Dave is live right now on Spreaker.com and checking out the podcast. Dave, yeah, you haven't missed anything. I just fucking got started. Here's some things. I talked about the fact that I posted a video on YouTube, and I had some comments. This is before the video, actually. Some comments that people wanted to talk about, which relate to the stories that we have today. The first comment was 2 days ago from someone named Straight Dominican. I just wanted to say the person's name. I don't give a fuck about what they said. The next one is Project Unity. Project. I was still laughing about Straight Dominican. That's awesome. Project Unity said, and I quote, Project Unity, if you're listening, eventually I know you will. Here's what you said. It's going to go from military application to commercial applications. That is the progression that is taking place, but we are really need to keep an eye on the military offensive. By the way, he's talking about the fact that the United States military is all up on this UFO shit publicly in many different ways. So Project Unity is saying, I need to keep an eye on that. Got to watch these guys. You know, as a matter of fact, this is where we give, who is that guy? The reptilian man, Stephen Greer, a lot of credit, right? He said, you got to watch the military, the industrial military complex. He kept on saying that because he says he always wants to quote Eisenhower, I believe, saying how Eisenhower said, you got to watch these bitches. They got too much power. That's basically what he's saying. Come on, Eisenhower. Just stop fucking around. Just say it. You got to watch these bitches. Project Unity is saying the same thing. But now it's in all our faces. It's right in your face. You can't even deny it now. But the sheeple are just, they just don't want to know. They don't want to know what's going on, even though the media is reporting it almost every fucking day now. It's the craziest thing. Spooky Ninja. By the way, Spooky, that last song was for you, since you're spooky. Spooky Ninja says, so logically, if the U.S. Army is now studying UFO material to make advanced weapons, according to popular mechanics, then they must acknowledge that UFOs are real. Spooky Ninja, you might be scary as hell, but you've got some serious logic there. I'm telling you, there is no way you can get around that. Plain and simple. The Out There channel, this was a week ago, and actually, this one is about Corbell. So let's take a trip back. I wish I had that flashback sound effect. He's talking about Corbell. He says Corbell knows how to market the guy. Admitted to working with Secure Team 10. It's about milking the cash. Lazar is a liar. And someone who said wasn't interested in UFOs, etc. He seems to be more public than ever. Well, other channel, the reason why he's more public is because Corbell got him a deal to publish his book through To the Stars Academy's Tom DeLonge's little company. And that's the reason why that happened. So that's why, listen, if someone's going to give me fucking money, you bet your damn bottom dollar I'm going to be out there promoting this shit on all kind of shows. I really am. You're going to pay me to tell my story? Fuck it. Yeah, I'll be out there on your dime, not mine. So I'm okay with that. That's basically what he did. Now, whether or not people believe that he's being truthful, it's hard to say. I personally, the Out There channel, I believe that he's being truthful. Take everything that he said he saw, take his experience. Now, fast forward to this last 14 days and tell me that there isn't some kind of correlation there somewhere. I'm telling you. Dave says, contact that David Icke, however you spell his last name. He knows about the lizard people. It blinks with lizard eyes. David Icke. I'm not sure. Listen, Dave, you have to send me a link about that because I'm not sure who that is, David Icke. So let's get on to the first story for today's, because it's important, because it leads to the second one. So check this out. So Dave said he'll grab a link and send it to me so we can talk the shit about it. But here, check this out. The first story, this I talked about last week, and that is the fact that the U.S. military, the Army, wanted to sign a deal, right? They signed a deal with To the Stars Academy regarding the metamaterial, right? So this is what it was. To the Stars Academy of Science, Arts and Science. I can't believe the shit says arts and science. Like you get a fucking bachelor from Tom DeLonge of fucking Blink-182. The shit it just doesn't make sense to me. Announces CRADA with the U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command and Advanced Material and Technology Innovations. Can they... Well, the fucking money we spend on weapons and shit like that, can we spend some of that money for someone to come up with a fucking acronym that's not that big? It makes for difficult reporting. Maybe I could speak to my congressman about that. So that was the story, right? To the Stars Academy. All of a sudden, out of the blue, the guys that were like, the company was fucking dying. The dude gave up his grungy life in order to put together something to chase UFO stories. Came out in the last U.S. election thanks to Podesta and his inability to fucking put a real password together. Password 12345. That was his fucking password. I just had to take a pause. I mean, that is so fucking ridiculous. Thanks, John Podesta, because you brought us a lot of education in that one. So basically, I'm kind of shocked. And you heard that in the last episode. A lot of people, some of the quotes that I just gave you from YouTube were like, no. That's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's what they're planning. That's called controlled disclosure. And if they are getting together with them and making a baby, then the baby is undeniable. That's just my analogy. Here's the article by this website called The Drive. The Army wants to verify To the Stars Academy's fantastic UFO mystery material claims. An official agreement makes it clear the Army wants to explore the possibility that To the Stars Academy may actually have something game-changing. I'll just take a second for you guys to take that in. So it wasn't just a straight up, one-for-one deal. Hey, you got metamaterial. Hey, let's make a deal. Billions of dollars. Bam. Oh, shit. Tom DeLonge, I just pimped your ride. That's not what happened. So they want to verify that this is real. So the claims are by To the Stars Academy. And you know what? And on the back end of this, shadily sitting in the dark alley, waiting for a victim to come by, is Deuce Bigalow, the space gigolo. He's part of this. It's funny how they never mention Deuce in any of the articles. But the metamaterial was supposed to be housed in his warehouse in Las Vegas. Why is Deuce so undercover with all this stuff? This is really weird. I haven't seen Deuce mentioned in a while. Very crazy. So the article continues. The U.S. Army confirmed that it had entered into a curious cooperative deal with former Blink-182 frontman Tom DeLonge to the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, and more commonly known as TTSA, to investigate certain novel materials. What the fuck is novel about the fucking materials? What the fuck? Are you serious? They're claiming that these materials are from unidentified flying objects which exhibit capabilities way beyond anything we can do. There ain't shit novel about it. I would probably say more extraordinary. The War Zone has now obtained a minimally redacted copy, because they love redacting shit, of the agreement that clearly states that the Army wants to attempt to verify. Put a big V on that bitch. Verify TTSA's claims about reported materials / metamaterial and associated technology innovations. So this isn't something that's written in stone. So basically, TTSA and Tom DeLonge got to put up or shut up. If you've been promoting metamaterial that is fake, that you put together just to get money from the people in your public offerings into your company, you're pretty much fucked. Pretty much. TTSA has also claimed to be in possession of a number of mysterious materials which the War Zone covered as detailed in our initial reporting on the CRADA. By the way, the link to this article is in the description. You can actually get a lot of information, especially this agreement that was made with the U.S. military between TTSA and the Army based on this whole CRADA nonsense. You can look at it. You can read it. It's actually in there. Metamaterial. This is nice because they put this in this article for you. Metamaterial is engineered composites that have electrical properties not present in any naturally occurring form of material, which results in unique attributes, including certain impacts to the transmission of electromagnetic waves. Something that someone like Bob Lazar used to talk about back in the day before he got discredited and thrown into darkness. It's a good article. You guys should check it out because it's not blanket about, Tom DeLonge coming into it, all the money's pouring over him because of TTSA. No, actually, this article says it's not that easy. You need to prove that the shit that you have is the real deal. It's something that's, for a lack of a better term, the shit's fucking unexplained. It's a material that's not something that's created on this planet, and it has some extraordinary capabilities. Can they do that? This is where we find out if the metamaterial is real. Dave in the chat says, I think the military has already done business with TTSA and they will either debunk or disclose. The military does not need permission to obtain something they would consider a national security issue. Yeah, you know what? I think that 20, 30 years ago, I would agree with you. The problem is that TTSA has a big fucking mouth. TTSA, thanks to Elizondo, and a very big thank you to Commander Fravor, has put everything on Front Street. In every single way. And I think that they used their ability to get information on social media as a way to hold, government operatives or entities to hold them hostage. So I do believe that in a lot of ways they've already done their little deals and things like that. But, you have to have an ace up your sleeve. They know that this information is critical, mission critical for any agency, any military branch, any country, any government in the world, they can't just give it all away. They have to hold people accountable for their own safety. They got to protect themselves. So do I see them maybe already? This is maybe a few months too late. They already cracked some kind of a deal. Yeah, I definitely think that they've already done something a few months ago. And this is just the public offering. Just in case someone decides to snoop around and come across any documents, heavily redacted documents, that say that there was a deal brokered between TTSA and the military, then they've got this information out. Not that not that it won't be found eventually, right? Someone's going to find it. Someone's going to come across this stuff and start calling people out. Guaranteed. But that's the way shit happens, right? 10 years later, 15 years later, somebody comes out, finds information, and then they make a big fucking deal about it. Because we've seen that stuff. Just in the last maybe 4 or 5 months. Oh, I saw this document from the 1980s that they said Roswell was real. Who the fuck cares if Roswell is real? Who cares? Thousands of people believe Roswell is real. That's all you need. The people that found the material, the people that were there when the crash happened, they believe it's real. What the fuck else do you need? You have hundreds of thousands of sightings, incidents, abductions ever since Roswell. Why the fuck you need to go back? There's shit that's happening today, within the last decade, that tell you you don't need to go back to Roswell. You need to focus on what the hell is going on right now. I got this one song for Dave. Dave, this is for you. It's called For the Floor. It kind of reminds me of Depeche Mode and what's those other guys? The Pet Shop Boys. I don't know why. There's no fucking vocal on this, but check it out. So during the little musical break, Dave mentioned that he believes that the Battle of L.A., Los Angeles, was more credible than Roswell. You know, the Battle of Los Angeles, that one picture is phenomenal. Phenomenal. But again, you have the debunkers who say that X, Y, and Z. So people who see a picture that was taken during a UFO incident that was witnessed by thousands of people, they turned away from it. The sheeple said no. Nah, that's not what it was. No. But when you listen to everything that happened during that fateful evening that resulted in that picture, how can you not? How can you not question what happened? You've got to question it. There's just no way around it. But when your government is telling you they're trying to protect you from foreign powers who are trying to hurt you, you kind of believe the government, right? You don't believe a few people that apparently were scared by an alien invader. Let's get into the next news article. So the first news article and this next article, they're tied together because they have to do with one thing. That's the U.S. military trying to get their greedy little grubby billionaire hands on UFOs, which is really what it all comes down to. Because now, my favorite alien on the planet that we know of, Elon Musk, apparently is getting himself into the fray by the Menage Tois, actually, for those of you who kind of missed the connection. Menage et Tois. For you folks in France. You know what? Some of you guys in France that are listening, if you can say Menage et Tois for me and just record it and send it to me, I'll play it on the next podcast. Why not, right? Might as well have the right accent doing it. The next article says the Army wants to... sugar, honey, iced tea. That is not the right article. Actually, the article itself is talking about the fact that SpaceX wants the U.S. Army to use the Starship rockets. I got to pause for a second. What in the hell is wrong with the Army? First of all, I thought that the Army had to do with ground warfare. Yeah, they use planes for cargo. They deliver folks here and there. But it's mostly ground warfare. So it turns out the U.S. Army is in contact, trying to make some deals with Elon Musk and SpaceX because they want to use the satellites, the Starlinks, and also the Starship. But what the fuck happened to the Space Force? Why did Trump put together the Space Force if the Army wants to get in with SpaceX? That really is perplexing to me. Not a single article right now with TTSA or SpaceX is talking about the Space Force. Who the fuck is the Space Force anymore? I don't even understand what the hell's going on. Why is the Army trying to make all these deals with all these entities which are apparently on the fringe of a lot of things, but now it's acceptable? Here's one of the reasons that the Army is considering SpaceX, the Starship, as one of its rockets of choice. According to this, that the Starship is a combination of a spacecraft and a super heavy rocket, and its ability to lift 110 tons of cargo into low orbit is exactly what the Air Force and the Army need. Because it provides what they call point-to-point transport in space that they don't have currently. As a matter of fact, there's quotes in here about how long it would take the starship to reach different points on opposite sides of the planet. We're talking about less than an hour. Less than an hour, you could reach the totally, completely opposite side of the planet using the starship. Just because its ability to launch and land. That's what they're looking at for military applications. The other thing that the Army is interested in is the fact that SpaceX has these Starlink internet satellites. Now we know, for most of you who have researched the internet, you know that the internet started as a military project, right? That needed to improve communication in between other troops in combat situations. That's how the internet got started. Well, it turns out that SpaceX has just offered the U.S. military an advancement. And that is by having 12,000 satellites in low orbit in order to provide global broadband internet. Well, that's a gem, right? You basically have 12,000 satellites at your disposal in order to control your military worldwide. There isn't a single place. If the military gets their hands on these satellites, could you imagine what that means for the amount of control and information dissemination around the globe? Well, it's phenomenal. Completely phenomenal. That's what they're looking at. That's what they want. It's almost like complete domination, basically. Sorry for you guys who are not in the U.S., but you guys should have thought about this. That's what's going on right now. That's what they want. They want total control. They want, basically, the U.S. military wants what Elon Musk has. So what can you do? Dave says that Japan wants to develop a space bridge to move people and cargo, and the research for it has already started. And you know what's funny? The other thing that people have been looking at is the space elevator. Apparently, science is saying a space elevator is completely feasible. Maybe feasible, but the problem is that they're all theoretical. They're all theoretical. I actually drove by the fucking rockets that can make this happen. The hopper is exactly what the military wants. Stick another, 4 or 5 fucking engines on it, and they got what they need. That's the difference. There's a lot of theory out there, but there's only few people that are doing it. SpaceX, Elon Musk, those are one of those folks. You can't leave everyone else behind, right? Like Blue Origin. They got their own freaking reusable rockets. So eventually they're going to have some kind of a deal somewhere with some kind of government branch using them to move shit into space. The other thing is, why would you need to move 110 tons into space, into low orbit? For what? That shit's, how many trips can you make to the ISS? Where exactly are you moving 110 tons worth of equipment? Because you're not taking it to the ISS, so where is it going? These are questions that make you go, there's something wicked, and this way it comes. So, to Spooky's Ninja's comment, yeah. If you look at the way that the U.S. military is working its way into SpaceX and To the Stars Academy, which, I mean, for fuck's sake, I would not trust To the Stars Academy for anything. But apparently they've got something. They've got something. And the fact that officially U.S. government agencies, military, and so forth are trying to make deals with these folks means that they have something. They have something no one else has. But the question is it real? Is it the right thing? Is it something that can take us closer to a disclosure? And really, to be honest, if they accept this deal, if they get this contract together, they sign a contract for CRADA, whatever the fuck the acronym is, with To The Stars Academy, which I give two fucks for, and then they sign something else with SpaceX. What are they getting together? Basically, they're saying, one, they acknowledge that there is metamaterial from something they don't understand, that they know is flying in our skies, but on the back end, they're saying we need to prepare for war. We need to get ready for what's coming, and we need to move a lot of shit into space. That's basically the picture they're painting. Sad part is that people are not seeing it. They really aren't. Those are the new stories for today. Check the links in the description. Check them out. Go into them. There's more information. You can see the CRADA agreement between To The Stars Academy and the government. But more importantly, fuck all that, because we'll be dead before they tell us anything. Check out the UFO Buster Radio YouTube page. Check out the link to the video. Come on, I put a lot of work into that. Yeah, it's fucking 5.5 minutes long. You know how long it takes to create something that's 5.5 minutes? Yeah, I ain't lying. That takes a long damn time. But I welcome you guys to check it out. And like I said, if you go there, just hit the like. Come on, stop fucking around, Dave. I want you to go on there, Dave. I want you to go on there and hit like. This is Manny Moonraker. I am checking out this business with the government and these two other guys. This Menage a Tois is completely out of control. I got one more song for you. It's called Dark versus Light. The problem is, in these situations, in this Menage a Tois, you don't know who's the dark and who's the light. So good luck with that. Ciao.